The first thing the woman did when she realized she had been reborn was to walk into her kitchen, take up the vintage 1945 bottle of Chateau Mouton Rothschild, a gift for her third wedding anniversary, and smash it against the marble island, watching the $10,000 liquid sprat like a pool of fresh blood across the floor. Suqing stood in the wreckage of her designer kitchen, her chest heaving as she checked the calendar on the smart fridge. November 14th. In her past life, this was the night she had served that very wine to her husband, Liu Zizhou, and his protege, Han Zi. By midnight, the wine's heavy tannins had masked the bitter aftertaste of a sedative. By dawn, Suqing had been framed for a hit-and-run accident that killed a prominent judge, a crime Liu Zizhou had committed. She had spent 5 years in a high-security prison, her beauty withered by stone walls and her reputation incinerated by Liu Zizhou's press conferences. When she was finally released, penniless and broken, she had walked to the center of the city bridge and let the currents swallow her. But the water had been warm, and when she opened her eyes, she was back in her silk pajamas, 3 hours before the anniversary dinner. She didn't waste time on a single sob. She moved to the laundry room and withdrew that hidden dashcam from Liu Zizhou's secondary car. She swapped it with a faulty card that would appear to be recording but would actually capture nothing, ensuring Liu Zizhou felt false security. At 6:30 p.m., Liu Zizhou arrived home, his face a mask of practiced, rugged charm. He handed her a bouquet of white lily, the flowers of death. He noticed the smashed wine and reported his concern for her clumsiness. Suqing didn't flinch. She reported a clumsy accident and suggested they open a different bottle of harsh, unrefined whiskey. She watched his eyes flicker with annoyance. Whiskey was harder to spike than a complex red wine. She called a locksmith and requested that all exit codes be reset to a sequence only she knew. By 8 p.m., Han Zi arrived. She played the role of the grateful student perfectly, reporting her admiration for Suqing's perfect life. Suqing watched as Han Zi and Liu Zizhou exchanged a micro-glance, the look of two predators deciding which limb to tear off first. Suqing reported a sudden migraine and retired to the master bedroom, but she didn't lie down. She hired a private drone pilot, reporting coordinates for the intersection where the judge's car would be passing at 11:45 p.m. At 11 p.m., she heard the heavy thud of the front door. This time, she was standing behind the blackout curtains. She had placed a weighted mannequin under the duvet and played a looped recording of heavy breathing through the baby monitor. She remote wiped Liu Zizhou's primary cloud server. This would force his phone to remain unlocked as it bypassed the security protocols. At 11:40 p.m., the drone footage began to stream to her tablet. She watched as Liu Zizhou's car swerved into the path of the judge's vehicle. She watched as Liu Zizhou and Han Zi realized their sacrifice. Suqing wasn't there. Their panic was reported in the frantic, jerky movements of their shadows under the streetlights. Suqing didn't wait. She called the city's most aggressive tabloid journalist and reported a massive scoop at the intersection of 5th and Main. Then, she called the police, reporting a stolen vehicle and a distress signal from her husband's phone. By 1 a.m., the intersection was a sea of blue and red lights. Liu Zizhou and Han Zi were caught standing over the judge's body. Suqing stood on her balcony, the cold midnight air finally feeling like freedom. The first day was over, the frame was broken. And for the first time in 2 lives, Suqing realized the bridge wasn't for jumping. The next morning, Han Zi attempted to report she was a victim. Suqing released the second recording, the one from the kitchen. The karma was a landslide. Liu Zizhou's assets were frozen, and Han Zi was arrested as an accomplice before she could reach the airport. Suqing sat in her father's old office and signed the papers to dissolve the marriage. She used a simple $1 plastic pen. The debt was settled. The woman who had been framed was now the one holding the gavel.